What?
Okay, whatever. So now I'm going to do the next thing on my review sheet. Let's see what it is. So I did the Bill of Rights. Now I need to know the different requirements to pass a law and to amend the Constitution. Why are you videoing me right now? It's not. No, stop it. Stop it. Okay, whatever. To amend the Constitution, you need 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate. If you don't get that, the 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate, no, you're not amending the Constitution. Oh well. And you also need to get 3/4 of the state, which is 75%. Thank you, Mr. Goldberg, for teaching me percent. I need, how does a bill become a law? Well, so in Congress, they go to Congress, they decide, I want to make a law. So they make the law, and they send it to the president. The president can veto it, which means it's done, it's over, it's finished, no law. He can just not do anything. It'll probably also not become a law. Or he can pass the law. It probably won't happen right now because, like, the Congress, they're mostly Republicans. So they're going to want to make a good law. But then Barack Obama, the meatball, is going to be like, no, I don't want it because I'm an idiot. Okay, so now I know to know the 3 branches of government and the numbers and positions in each branch. So in the executive branch, there's the president and the vice president and all the other meatballs in the cabinet, whatever they are, like the attorney general and the secretary of state and the secretary of treasury and the secretary of whatever, secretary of this, secretary of that, I don't care. And then there's the Senate. Each state has two people in the Senate. And then there, in the House of Representatives, it's based on how many people are in your state. You can be Montana. It's so much bigger than New Jersey. So much bigger. But you know what? There's like 1 million less people living there. So you know what? New Jersey still gets more people in the House of Representatives because they have more people. And so that's what the House of Representatives is based on. I didn't memorize all the states and how many representatives they are because I don't need to do that. So now I have to do...
You're switching between like British accent and Dovid Leider.
So now I have to do terms and qualifications for each position. So for president, you got to be at least 35 years old. Sounds very old, but you know what? Every president's like 60. They're all 60. You know Donald Trump is running for president. He's 69 years old. So old, and he's got his crazy blonde hair. And so you have to be 35, you have to be a natural born citizen. That does not mean you have to be born in the United States. Ted Cruz was running for president. He's obviously out now. Donald Trump is clearly the Republican candidate. But he was running. He wasn't born in the United States, but he was a naturally born citizen because his parents are Americans and they are citizens. So he is a naturally born citizen. But you can't have a guy from Mexico running for president. It just doesn't work like that. Donald Trump wants them to build a wall. They can't. He's like, oh, you build the wall, whatever. Okay, so now for the Senate, you have to be at least 30, and you have to be I'm trying to remember, for 9 years, you have to be a citizen. So you can move to the United States from Mexico. And you could become a citizen when you're 21. And then when you're 30, you turn 30, you want to run for the Senate. So you decide, I'm going to run for the Senate. He's allowed to. Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the House of Representatives. Why are you still videoing me? This is not funny. The House of Representatives, you have to be at least 25. Sounds pretty young, right? I don't know, somebody who's 25, he can run for the House of Representatives. They also have to be a 7-year citizen. So I'm not going to give an example again of how you could become in the House of Representatives because I'm getting bored. So now I'm going to the Declaration of Independence. I need to know the 4 parts. So the first part is the preamble, and the next part is the statement of beliefs, and the next part is the grievances, and the next part, the fourth part, which I'm trying to remember right now in my brain, it's in the back of my head. It is, I don't know. I'm going to have to look.
A Yanover.
A Yanover asteroid. A Yanover asteroid. That's what I found. It's in the fourth part of the Declaration of Independence. The fourth part is the attempt to resolve problems. Not the Yanover. There's no Yanover mentioned. I'm not talking about Sukkot. We are almost at Shavuos. Okay. So now I need to talk about the Articles of Confederation. It was the U.S., they became a country, so they said, obviously, we have to have a government, and they wanted the power in the states. They don't like a strong federal government because it didn't work out with the Brits, and they broke away from them, so now they want the power in the states. So the Articles of Confederation, it didn't work out, so they repealed it, and that was it. It was over. And it just didn't work. So they had to make the Constitution, which is the government today. So then I'm going to talk about the Great Compromise, which is, it talks about Congress, how Congress was created. So the Virginia Plan, they say, I want two houses I want two houses in the Congress, and the representatives are going to be based on population. And the New Jersey plan's like, no, we're not gonna have that. We want one house in the Congress, and we want everybody should have the same. They should all have the same amount of people, all the states. So the compromise was, so there was two houses, like the Virginia plan, and then one of the houses was based on the population, and one of the houses was the same amount, and that was the Great Compromise. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. So the Federalists, they're the guys, they're like, you know what? I don't like the Articles of Confederation. We're done. We're finished with that. We're getting the Constitution. And the Anti-Federalists are like, no, we don't want the Constitution. We want the power in the states. And we want to have a Bill of Rights. There's no Bill of Rights. We want the Bill of Rights. So the Federalists are like, screw it. We already tried having the power in the states, so you clearly see it did not work. It clearly did not work. So now we have to have a higher federal power. And so they're like, to the Bill of Rights, you know what? Just confirm that we're going to have the Constitution, and then you can ratify it, and then we'll put the Bill of Rights as one of the first acts after we make the Constitution in effect. So that happens, and I talked about the Bill of Rights already earlier in the show, and now I'm going to move on to the last thing, which is the Louisiana Purchase. So this Louisiana Purchase, it was a piece of land. It was in the current United States. We're living in the United States right now. The Frenchies owned it, and the head of the Frenchies was Napoleon. And he's like, you know what? We need money for the war with Britain. We're fighting with them, and we need the money. And I'm giving up on my dream of a West Empire because Haiti rebelled, and so I've had enough. I'm gonna sell it. And Thomas Jefferson is like, okay, I'm gonna buy it because the U.S. we want to expand. And in Louisiana Territory, a key thing was the port of New Orleans, which was key to trade with Asia. They wanted to trade with Asia, so they got the port of New Orleans in the Louisiana Territory. They bought it for $15 million, and the purchase was very important in U.S. history. That is enough studying for tonight. You could turn off your video now.